Was that for? Here.
Exactly.
I put my alarm to wake up at the regular 4:30, which in all honesty, when I say I wake up, I do wake up at 4:30, but it's a slow waking up where I lay in bed, and then I'm like, oh my God, it's almost 5:30, I gotta run. This morning I woke up like completely refreshed at 4 in the morning. So it's good. 9:30. Yeah, Kelly texted me last night um, after 9:30, and I wrote her back this morning. I'm like, now that I'm 47, I was asleep. You remember how that was, don't you, Eddie? When you turned 47, do you remember that? We've had very different journeys at 47. We've had very different journeys at 47 now.
So 27.
Oh, oh, I'm sure I can let him know. All right. Should we get started? Want to get started? All right. So good afternoon, everyone. Just want to take a moment to thank you all for being here. It speaks to your commitment and the dedication that you have to the spiritual community. It speaks to the love that not only have you found at Unity on the Bay, I believe it speaks to how you are involved and care to be able to grow that love and grow the ways in which we connect with other individuals and really continue to evolve and transform Unity. Right? And Unity on the Bay. Before we continue, I just want to share earlier when I was speaking about transformation, I actually did have the transformation that Unity on the Bay is going through in mind and in heart. And I just, especially to the people that are in this room and the people that are watching from home, I just really am grateful that you are part of the transformation and really invite you to do what we're doing today, which is gathering in community, leaning on each other, supporting each other, because it is a change. It is a shift, and there are so many ways in which we've been looking forward to this change and this shift, and we envision it, and we are stepping into some unknowns, right? And we are stepping into some changes. And so our health and the way that we connect to it, the way that we ask questions, the way that we support it, and the ways that we just are involved in it will support Unity on the Bay to continue to move through that change and that transformation in an even greater and healthier way. So just want to begin by saying thank you for being here, for opening your hearts and minds, and for being part of the consciousness that has brought us to this moment, and especially the consciousness that is moving us forward. Today, it's me and our board president.
And good afternoon, everybody. Kevin here. For those online, hello, everybody. So just so you know, we've been wanting to do this for quite some time. And things have been just moving so quickly and so rapidly, and we've been very excited, and now we're even more excited because we're at a point right now where we can really tell you some really significant things that we're up to. Obviously, you're going to hear a lot about our building our future and what we're doing, right? And I want to emphasize our future, right? You have a dynamic committee of people, our Building Our Future committee, that is basically stewarding your vision and your thoughts about what our future will look like, and more importantly, what it will feel like. So we're taking that all into account. So we're very excited you're going to be here today, and that you are here today. And I know, Juan, you want to start with a special
Prayer, yeah. Well, and even before even the prayer, I just want to take a moment. I thank all of you for being here. I do want to take a moment to thank our Board of Trustees who have, just been phenomenal in how they have stewarded us. Is that a thing? Stewarded us? Provided stewardship for us. There you go. Eventually, I get it. Provided stewardship for our spiritual community. I just want each of you to know our Board of Trustees is phenomenal, has such wisdom, has such heart for who we are, and we're really, really blessed by each and every one of them. So thank you to our Board of Trustees. Thank you to our Building Our Future Committee, who have been not only meeting on a very regular basis, but they have been involved in some of the intricacies that are before us, and it has been quite a bit, and it has been quite quick also. I want to thank the staff of Unity on the Bay because they have been holding down the fort and really supporting not only what is emerging, but what currently is, because this has been a big lift for many of us on the board, on Building Our Future, and the staff, and all the staff has been supporting, continuing to do the things that we need to do while also doing the new things that are before us to do. And just want to thank all of you for being a part of the process. So what took place, so how many of you remember that one affirmation we had for our building, right? For many years, right, we give thanks that Unity on the Bay's right and perfect home is manifesting under the guidance of God. And now we can get to say amen. And that was a wonderful affirmation that we held. In the process of moving through where we're at now, I felt very guided to share another prayer, something that not only speaks to what we are affirming, but something that speaks to who we are through the process that we're moving into. There's so many meetings and discussions and documents and all of that, all those details that that we felt, I'll say I and we, felt like this was an opportunity for us to remember the consciousness by which we do all the paperwork, have all the meetings, lean on each other, and lean on God through this process. And so I'm going to use this prayer as our opening, and then I'm going to invite you to do an affirmation, or the last part of that prayer as an affirmation with me. Got it? You're with me? We gave you lunch. I'm like, bring out more cake, Michelle. All right. Well, so let's begin. I just invite us, and if you feel comfortable, just closing your eyes. And this building prayer says, we take a deep breath. We center ourselves and remember the very Spirit of God moves through and as us, moves through and as Unity on the Bay. It is in this awareness that we affirm our new spiritual campus is a place of profound love and peace. Joy fills each room with the knowing that transformation is taking place within them. There is vibrant life uplifting each of our congregants and all who find their spiritual home within our walls. A spirit of service abides within our walls, and infinite supply blesses us with all that we need as we create our future. Unity on the Bay's new campus is a haven of inspiration and a sanctuary of divine good. And I'm going to invite you to open your eyes so that you can read the "we are grateful" part towards the end, and let us affirm it together. We are grateful for the spirit of grace and wisdom that guides us into this vision and the love and faith that sustains us through it. And so it is. Amen. And so I just invite you to just continue to have these prayers on our website. Please, 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 please add it to your prayer practice, add it to your time of inspiration daily, and be holding this whole process and Unity on the Bay in your hearts, in your minds, and in your prayers during this time. I just want to mention that for those that are online or actually here, we do have a QR code. And so we're going to be sharing some pictures with you for those who may want to see it. I think it's supposed to be like easier on your phone, but it'll also be smaller on your phone. But for those that want to follow along with it, you're able to just use that QR code to follow along.
And this is an update meeting, and what we wanted to do is just let you know about our team. As you might imagine, this is a major, major lift for us. We are building a new home. And it takes a village. So we've expanded the village. We have a Claro who is our owner's rep. Now, what an owner's rep is we like to pretend like we know what we're doing, but to bring in an owner's rep that actually knows what they're doing has helped us significantly, all right? So Claro, and we work specifically with Victor, who is our point of contact at Claro, where we literally go through every single detail that we're going through. They're helping us navigate the way. We have an amazing working relationship with them. They've helped us tremendously as we continuously put together our plans for what our new home looks like. And then we also have Dynamica and Williams right here, sitting here. William is one of our congregants and also has a passion. This is a passion for him. And you might imagine, like, every single detail not only has his love, but his creative genius behind it. So what you're going to be seeing today is William's creation along with his team, and we're working very closely with Dynamic and, again, building our future, but building your home. We had a kickoff meeting on August 14th. God, it seems like it was just yesterday in a lot of ways. We had about 21 engineers a part of that, our architects, as well as our owner's rep a part of that. And basically, it was launching where we're going and how we're going about getting there. We are concentrating our efforts on, number one, the renovation of the interior of our new home. Secondly, we're working on the interior decor, right? So a lot of time and effort is being placed on making this spiritual home a holy place in which you walk into, giving you that energy of what a sanctuary should look like, and the bits and pieces that go along with that sanctuary. I think you're going to be very, very excited and pleased with what you see today, okay? We are currently, and then after that, we're going to be looking at the exterior. But again, we're focusing our attention right now in the interior of the home and what that looks like. We also, we have an interior designs that we're going to be working with or showing you today, but also our AV needs. We had promised you an experience, and we know that AV is essential to that. So we are working with a vendor to actually help us in putting together a dynamic, amazing visual and audio pleasure for you. So I know our music ministry and Faye would never sound any better or look any better. No, Faye, I'm kidding. You always look great.
We are getting like very secure speakers for Faye, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That cost us a little bit more, but it was worth it.
And also, we're going to have somebody working the volume control. Well, and I also, another change that we made, and as you know, Juan had mentioned our Building Our Future committee, which I will tell you the time and effort that goes into this, you would not believe, right? And I want to acknowledge Michelle and Juan right now, because this is a job on top of a job. And the extra hours that you two are putting into this, along with Jason, in making sure that we are, number one, spiritually guided. And I love the fact that every single meeting we have, whether it's 10 minutes, whether it's 2 hours, starts with a prayer. So we're spiritually guided every time we sit down to talk about our future home. I know I speak on behalf of all of us. We cannot thank you enough. And we couldn't have had two better people leading our way. And he knows that I freaking love him, because I tell him. But also, I do want to also acknowledge Eddie, who also, the visionary to help us, guide us in selling our property. literally leading the way in so many different ways and still passionately a part of it. And also Steve, who is a rock star and really, again, finding our home. When it comes to negotiating things, when it comes to looking at the finer details, you have no finer man than this man. And I think we all, look at Michelle, it's like, hell yeah, or heck yeah, or heaven yeah, but this man. And now I get to introduce you to somebody that you met earlier,
And before, if we round it off to also just mention that we have Kelly Bussey,
Yes.
who is one of our board members and a member of our Building Our Future. We have Edith Diak, who is also a part of that committee. And we have, and the person that you're going to be introduced to next.
And so now the baton has been passed to a very extremely well-qualified, extremely leveled head, extremely detail-oriented, has brought so much passion with just a steady hand and steady mind. So I want to introduce our chair of our Building Our Future committee, which is Bill Gorman.
Our Sacred Server of the Month.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kevin.
Before I step out and we let Bill share with you, and boy, are you going to enjoy what he's going to share with you, I believe. I just want to say something. From what I know, we've never done something like this before. You know, even for those of you who were a part of the old property at 411, which, believe it or not, was almost 7 years ago. So we've lived the cycle and we're ready for the new one. But I mean, how many of you remember trying to make rooms work for something that they weren't intended to, right? Like my office used to be the pantry at the old property, right? And so this is really, that I'm aware of, the first time that Unity on the Bay is able to really envision what is possible and what is needed to support our spiritual community. And that's what you're going to see today, that we've listened, that we've looked at it, that we have envisioned it, and that we have started to do the work of creating the reality of what will continue to support Unity on the Bay, not only in its current form, but in who we are yet to be, but is in our, imaginal selves to become, right? So just know that and be in gratitude for it. I really invite you to do that and know that we are in extremely beautiful hands. So with that, thank you, Bill, for that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Reverend Juan. Before we start actually getting into the presentation, I, again, just want to reiterate the commitment that every one of these people on this committee has. It is really something. I have a full-time job, like many of the other people here, and I had no idea of what it would really entail. But the joy in it is the passion that everybody has for it. It doesn't even really feel like work. I've been doing it for about 4 or 5 months now. I don't know what's going to happen when the building gets built, because my weekly meetings with all the wonderful people here at Unity, and it's, boy, oh yeah, there you go. Yes, and one person I really want to shout out is Michelle. Michelle is sort of the unsung hero. Please. Yes, yes. Amazing, amazing, amazing. All of these parts that are moving, Michelle is sort of the wheel that kind of keeps it all flowing and keeps us all unified. So thank you very much for all you do for us. We really appreciate you. So without further ado, we're going to step into a little bit of the interior designs. So has everybody here been to the facility? Yep, good. Great. So as you can see here, we have a little mock-up, a little model of what the building is going to look like. The main thing that you see in the center is the sanctuary, but if we could flip one more slide, Jason. We've got 7 areas that we're going to look at today. The first one is going to be the welcome foyer, since that's the way we enter the building. This is an image of what the welcome foyer is intended to look like. It will be very sleek, it'll be very modern, it'll be very clean, but I want everyone to understand that what you're seeing in the images here today are it's just the base. There's lots of layers that have to come in and get added to this, lots of color that will be added, and some additional furniture pieces. But at least this gives you sort of a insight into the clean lines, the modern structure. Everything is extremely well thought out. There's been a lot of intention that's gone behind all of this. Lots and lots and lots of meetings. Across from the foyer, we have what's called our retail area. So when you walk into the building, to the right, you'll see the welcome foyer. To the left, you'll see the retail area. And again, this area is not fully developed yet. You can at least get the feeling and the vibe of what it's going to look like. The bookstore will be located in there. All of the things that we will be doing to sell products and to the spiritual store will all be located in this area. Let's go to the next one, Jason. The sanctuary. Now this is the really beautiful part. There's the ceiling that's there now is going to be morphed into something slightly different. There'll be acoustic tiles in there that will allow for the music and everything to flow properly. I don't know if you can expand that, Jason, to show more of the lighting inside the actual circle. No? No worries. If you can see, guys, there's 12 lights that hang in there, and each one of those lights will represent one of the 12 powers. So that's kind of cool. And again, everything is sort of muted because we haven't added any of the layers of the colors. Isn't that beautiful? Yes. Okay, let's go to the next one. The fellowship area. We're going to be blessed to have a fellowship area that we can actually use on site. We're going to be adding a bunch of sliding glass doors to allow a lot of natural light in. This will be good for people who want to potentially rent the space, as well as for the uses that we have. Something like, establishing the backpack drive. We don't have to do that at a different place anymore. We can do all of these things on site with the fellowship hall. Yay. There will be a kitchen in the back, and we will be able to have events and other things in the space that will support the community. Next. Flexible rooms. One of the things we're going to have the ability to do is to have a couple of spaces that are located within the facility that can be rented out to other people, that could be used for various different things that we do within the community here. So we've got the luxury of having these two spaces that are right next to each other that can be used. And with our designer, we put in some partitionable walls that will allow the spaces to be flexible. Everything you're going to see here is flexible. All of the rooms have multiple uses and very adaptable. The doors moving open will allow us to rent it to larger groups. Yoga events, doesn't matter. Many, many different choices and options. Next, Jason. Chapel. We're also going to have a very small chapel that is something we've never had before for smaller events, weddings, funerals, things of that nature. This isn't fully realized yet, but you get a feel for the building. It will have this really cool ceiling. There'll be some AV in there. There'll be a beautiful light box in the center with the bird in it, and a very nice place to sort of pray and meditate. Next. Youth and family ministry area. Yay! Uh-oh. Lots of parents in here, I see. So exciting. We're going to have a total of 5 classrooms. Yay! The spaces themselves will be sort of muted. However, there will be a lot of color and things added based on the age of the children that will be in that space. So, for example, where you see this top left picture of mindfulness, these are for younger kids, sort of be a neutral color palette that will be expanded upon opening. We just want spaces that are cool, comfortable, clean, and able to do the things that we need to do in them. So again, these will be very flexible. They have their own bathrooms and their own entrance. So a lot of energy has really gone into youth and family because of the importance that it is to this community. So great job. Next. Where's that at? Oh, next steps with Michelle. Here we go.
Thank you, Bill.
Oh, it's fine.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I think I know most of you, but just in case, my name is Michelle Cuartas. As your Chief Operating Officer, I am your dates and budget lady and your timeline. Oh, I'm sorry. So just very quickly, after this beautiful presentation and some of our changes, what comes next? Earlier this month, actually at the end of September, we submitted our pre-application paperwork to the City of Miami Gardens. They do have a pretty user-friendly process where they can start helping you with some of the pre-application paperwork, so you don't have to wait to have everything completed. This will help us. As many of you know, we do have a pretty tight schedule since we do want to be in the new location by June 1st, so this has been very helpful. We are expecting to have our completed construction documents by the week of October 24th, so very, very exciting stuff. Once we have those completed construction documents, two things can happen at the same time. One, we're able to submit all our paperwork to get our permits from the City of Miami Gardens and Miami-Dade County, so that is really where things start to move very, very quickly, and the internal committee within Building Our Future starts having their final interviews with our general contractor, which you know is also an incredibly important component to make sure that we meet these deadlines. So fun stuff coming. If all goes as well, which it will, because we are blessed with divine timing, construction does begin the second week of December. So some of you have asked, not unfortunately, fortunately, we will not be having any kind of holiday services in the new building because we will be in full renovation, full demolition. So we will have one more last holiday season in this room this year. Sorry, Israel. Since construction will begin in December, we will wait until the beginning of 2026 to have our groundbreaking ceremony, which is very important. You know, we get to pick up our dirt and kind of, officially open the construction phase of this beautiful project. So more dates will be shared. Juan and the committee are taking a look at what works best to be able to have people come on site safely and have this very important part of this process. We really are envisioning, praying, affirming, and believing in our heart that we will be having services in the new building by June of 2026. It's happening, it's happening, it's happening. As many of you know, and we've discussed many times before, we do need to be out of this building by the end of May of 2026, as the property has been, Temple Israel is a spiritual community, is no longer functioning, so they're kind of holding the fort for us and for the school. So time is of essence, which is why everything kind of happens so quickly, because things have to happen for construction to begin with time to have at least the interior completed. And lastly, and this is a much bigger vision that we hold, is in August of 2026, we will be having our grand opening with our interior completed, and we plan to celebrate that grand opening with the 2026 Unity on the Bay Day. So fun stuff happening. So thank you all for being here. If you have any questions, any doubts, I'm always the lady walking around. Tap me, ask me. I'm more than happy to be able to answer. And thank you all for being here. Reverend Juan? Am I giving this back to you, gentlemen? Okay. Thank you all.
Thank you, Michelle. Appreciate it. Thank you. Before we open it up for questions, I also just, because we're so in it. So many of us are so in it, and sometimes it's good to pause, right, and just share with you even more. We brought Bill up. We shared our gratitude for Bill. For those of you who may not know, Bill has been a member of Unity on the Bay for over 20 years. So he knows who we are and the consciousness that we hold. And then he is also the vice president at Turnberry, overseeing the hotel division. And so he, in his work, and we've been a part of it in many different ways as one of the biggest partners that we've had in our backpack drive. We've gotten to know the staff from Turnberry and the staff that you oversee. Bill, in that process and in that position, has overseen the construction and the interior design of many, many buildings. So I just want you to know, when we say we are blessed by Bill, we are blessed by Bill.
Thank you.
And I also just, we went through those pictures, and, we're inviting you to have creativity in the way that you're seeing it. And we went through those. There is, like Bill said, a lot of care and a lot of attention that has been placed. We're very fortunate, I believe, that when we hired Dynamica, our architects, I think it was Chris or Eddie said to William, it might be a good thing for you to come and check out our services so that you could get a feel for our community. And 7 years later, he is a card-carrying member of our spiritual community. 10 years card-carrying of our community. And with that then, for example, he and his team, which includes Denise, who's a big part of it, Denise Maggiano, Magarino. And she, together, for example, they're looking at where would the prayer for protection go, right? And what's the way that we want the prayer protection to be something that welcomes people? Where can we put in the 12 powers? Where can we put the children's blessing, right? So when Bill talks about how we're gonna add even more of our DNA to the building, we're not only talking about colors, we're not only talking about furniture, we are talking about the spiritual teachings and the consciousness of Unity on the Bay. And I have to tell you, it's been work, but that part of it for me has been one of the most beautiful things that we've been doing. How do these spaces welcome people, make them feel loved, cared for, worthy, and empowered to go out into the world and be the light of Christ in any place that they go? And so as you're envisioning the colors and all of those things, envision, as Kevin, I think you invited people too, the feeling of what it means to enter this new sanctuary, this new space of being. And really, in that way, a whole new, not only phase for Unity on the Bay, but we're really entering into a new way of being for Unity on the Bay. And my gosh, we're living into that dream of 100 years ago, and we get to be the ones that dream for the next 100 years. So what a blessing that is. So I just wanted to share that component of it.
Well, and Juan, you just brought up 100 years. So does everybody in this room know that next year we begin our celebration about our 100th anniversary? Right? So obviously, you're all invited to the party, okay? So
Wait. Parties. It's a jubilee.
Yes.
It's a jubilee.
It's going to be many, many events that are part of it in our new home. That being said, I did want to give everybody a heads up. You probably realize that we're not doing our Club U this year. All right, we're not doing a gala. Why? Because there's a lot of lifting going on, right? That doesn't mean that we don't need your support. In fact, we need your support now more than ever, so that we ask anything that you were going to contribute to Club U, anything that you're going to contribute to dig deep this Give Miami Day, and to give. Now I want to ask you an extra favor. Bring other people into our journey. Ask people to donate on your behalf. If you have a birthday coming up, holidays coming up, ask people to make a gift to Unity on the Bay in honor of you and your spiritual journey. We have high aspirations for this year's Give Miami Day, but aspirations mean nothing without action, right? So we're asking you to take action, to dig deep, but also to talk up about our spiritual community and our future and how excited you are to be a part of our family. And knowing that Juan's birthday was yesterday, what the heck? Make a donation to Give Miami Day and make it in honor of Juan.
Perfect. And by the way, I turned 5,032 and 57 cents. Just putting it out there.
So what we wanted to do, I think we want to open up for Q&A. Anybody has any questions? If you have any questions online, please put it into the chat. We will get word from our control desk back there. And Michelle has the questions, so she can shout them out as well. But and Michelle, do you want to join us up here? No, come up. Any questions of the team? Ray. Great question.
What is the projected capacity of the space? So it's about 450 is what we're really aiming for. It can go up to 500, but that's what it is. Yeah. And we believe that that will not only be something that we can grow into, because that's the truth of it, right? We're going to grow into it. A shift has been that nowadays, instead of having to build bigger because we are pushing out the walls, when we get there, and we will get there, we just add another service. Yeah. Janice.
Janice, I got you, baby. Hold on, baby. Stand up. Are we leaving the name the same? Unity on the Bay? Yes? Okay.
So-
Because there was,
Yeah.
before they were making some observations of maybe changing the name, but I'm just curious. We're going to keep it, right?
Actually, we're not.
Huh?
And so that's part of the change that I was talking about. You know, it's amazing to recognize how connected sometimes we feel to what we've named something, especially as something as beautiful and powerful and as special as this spiritual community is. We're going to be going through a process between now and us moving into that new space to just check in about, again, not only who we have been and what we are, but who we are becoming. And through that, we believe that in a shift of the name, we would be able to invite more people to be a part of our spiritual community. And so that's going to be one of the changes. What that name will be for all of us to sort of come together and envision.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I just, and thank you, Janice. And I also want to share, Unity on the Bay was actually not the only name of our spiritual community. It's changed over time, especially, I believe, when there have been significant transformations. Actually, I'm going to get all biblical on you. But, you know, in the Bible, a big change and transformation in many stories in the Bible have been accentuated by the individuals that moved through the transformation in having a new name, right? So Abram became Abraham, you know, and there's a lot of different, you know, Saul became Paul. And so this is an opportunity for us to step into who we are becoming and be seen and named as such.
Michelle, you want to say the online question next? All right, you can go out of it.
All right. So with that name thing, you could always do formerly known as Unity on the Bay. You could always throw it in there. Just sorry. But yeah.
We're going to be a symbol.
We're going to be a symbol like Prince.
There you go. Did I notice, right, the sanctuary is going to have chairs, or they're movable chairs? So not fixated, so we can open that up and do a lot of things there. Is that correct? Yes. Oh, all right, cool. I just wanted to make sure I saw right. All right, thanks.
Yeah. The beauty of that is that we can have smaller activities, larger activities. We can move it out. I think we've shared with you before. There's so many people dreaming of having like a whole like yoga festival in there. And, you know, I just want to put a little emphasis on what is being created in the ceiling, not only the 12 lights for each of the 12 powers, but making it circular, and there's like almost like I call it like the Nautilus inside, which is all about spiritual evolution and that movement that Spirit is for us. So a beautiful thing in there. Yeah.
Congratulations, guys. It's amazing. We're there. soon we will be in it. Now, question. I don't remember how many, the capacity of the old Unity. Is it something similar to the one that you're describing?
No, it was about 800 and something. Like 800,
Okay.
792.
Okay.
792.
Okay, is there a way, I think this is a perfect timing for this, is there a way that we can increase the capacity for a bit more? I would say that, we're gonna grow. I feel and I know for sure that with your help, Juan, and so many of the good people on board, we're gonna grow a lot. I would say please consider if you can increase that capacity, at least 5 or more, because 5 will be short too. So please consider that.
Thank you. And let me tell you, everyone hold that vision. And everybody walk towards that vision, and everybody do everything we can to embody that vision. And I want that reminds me, one of the other things that is being done is that, Kevin mentioned the AV. We're looking at how to connect all of the rooms in different ways so that when we get to capacity within the main sanctuary, there are other ways in which people could be connected to the service and the activities.
Like an overflow room, like we
Yeah,
had before.
and again, there are communities that are having like 3, 4, 5 services a day, and we can be a part of that kind of mentality and vision also.
Amy has a question. Amy?
And the Amy's are sitting next to each other. I didn't know which one you're going to go for.
A couple small questions. First, so the movable chairs, are there partitions for the sanctuary or only for the smaller room areas?
Who wants to take that one? I'm talking.
Yeah, no, the partitions are not for the main sanctuary. The partitions are for the breakout rooms. And the fellowship room also has some partitions, but the main sanctuary is not. And YFM, the classroom, so all the flex spaces, so they could be a bigger meeting or smaller, but the main sanctuary is not, it's not going to be structured for it to have partitions, no.
Okay, second small question. In terms of the name change, I would imagine that would happen prior to doing the internal design so that it can be reflected inside of the new space?
We are still working out like the schedule of all that we're doing. Actually, Jason, through the support of Eddie and Kevin, put together a whole branding RFP that is going to be sent out, and we're going to find somebody to help us and guide us through that process. And so we'll see whether it happens before or whether it happens maybe even a little bit after. There are components that we're looking at how they're going to be reflected in the building, and we really are seeing Unity on the Bay Day as our main kickoff of who we are.
Okay. And then in terms of the external, when is that supposed to be after the opening or before the opening? The external construction part?
That will be after. It'll be after the opening. Really, right now, the focus is just sort of to get us in that building in connection with the timeline that's here. So we sort of shifted all of the energy into the inside. Let's get us in there, let's get that going, and then we will pick up in phase 2 and address the exterior. There's a lot happening in the exterior as well as the inside, so we're just going to take it as it comes.
Okay.
And if I may add, it doesn't mean that it's not going to be looked at until we're there. Actually, in the next couple of months, once we have our GC in place and we have a better idea of what is needed for the inside, we're going to start having the conversations about the external. Now, there are some things that are going to happen at the external before we move also.
That's correct. Things like painting,
Yeah.
the exterior, and just some minor things on the outside to get us in the building. But like I said, after we're in there, that's when we'll proceed with phase 2.
So that's what I was just about to, so that it will be painted before.
It'll be painted before, yes.
Thank you.
And we'll,
And there may
It
be,
makes a big difference.
you don't like the
so,
pink?
Yeah.
and there may be other things we don't know, right? Because what we did is we separated out the phases. So once the GCs are in place and the interior design has been solidified a little bit more, we'll be able to refocus our attention on what's possible for the exterior, what's possible before the move, what's possible after the move.
Okay, thank you.
Whatever she says, I do. Well, almost. Anyway.
You and I both, Israel.
Okay. I've learned my lesson. Anyway, this is so encouraging and so promising. Thank you so much for all the work you guys are doing. It's really looks great. Okay, so I do have a question. Is there a time frame already been determined for vacating the office space on 28th Street?
You want to take it?
So that's actually a big topic of conversation right now. It really will depend on the feedback from the general contractor. If the interior can be done in a way where the offices can be left for a significant amount of time without having to be part of the original demolition, then yes, we probably will be moving probably earlier in 2026. If that is not feasible, and it's a possibility given our tight time frame where the GC has to come and be like, sorry guys, this just all has to come down, all this has to be redone now in order to meet the timeline at one specific time, then no. We will be in the office probably for the majority of 2026. We might have a small gap of time. They will be doing some virtual work, some remote work, but that's really kind of the next big question, structure brick and mortar wise, is when is it a good time for us to move, depending on how it affects the completion of the project.
I would like to know the capacity of the chapel, just in case I get married again. In Unity.
When you get married again. When?
Did you sign up for that course? That is no. William, correct me.
I want to say 38, 40.
Yeah.
There you go. 40 people is the maximum capacity for the chapel.
And it'll just depend on the setup, right? Like, that's the beauty of the way that we're setting things up with the chairs that we're setting up. There may be chairs that will be more conducive, for example, just plopping yourself down and meditating, and that may be a smaller number of people in there. And then when we have maybe a larger type of event, we can bring in other chairs in that will then create more capacity. So that's kind of the flexibility that we've been looking at in all of the spaces. I got this from Eddie.
Yeah.
Look at William.
Hi, guys. Thank you so much. One, as you know, my mom was there at the opening of the prior Unity on the Bay.
Yes.
Because before that, they would go to people's homes, the high school, et cetera. So I have a sense of continuity and a little nostalgia, having gone to Unity Village too. So what I'm wondering is all those wonderful books that we would see if you'd go in the Cameron House to the stage, you'd walk upstairs to a little room, and there were all these wonderful books. Sometimes we met there, of course, in Miracles, and also the dedications that were on the back of the chairs. So I'm hoping that there's going to be some sort of a library/archive, is my bottom line question, but also thinking about those other things that bring a sense of continuity and history.
First of all, I just want to say I'm so grateful to witness that continuity that you bring. The fact that your mom was there at the opening of the last building and that you will be a part of this one, to me speaks volumes.
Amazing.
Yeah. And we are looking at how to honor the heritage. And I would say that we're doing more than just looking at. We are very intentional about honoring that heritage. So many of us have the little vials of soil that we'll bring along. We actually have a black and white film recording of the groundbreaking at the other facility, where our founder, Cornel Stoiber, was there with the minister at the time, and we're going to honor that legacy. We are going to have an actual heritage hall, a historical wall. Actually, I just spoke to Dory Cameron, because one of the great ideas that came forth was not only having, for example, the program from when Charles Fillmore and his second wife, Cora Fillmore, they came to Unity on the Bay and spoke, and we actually have the program from that Sunday service, right? So we'll have things like that, and we'll also have like QR codes. So I talked to Dory about getting her to come and do a video for us, so that when we talk, when there's a picture of Bill, for example, and what Unity on the Bay has been and was with Bill, that somebody could do a QR code and it goes to a video of Dory, for example, that is speaking about that history, right? And so that's the kind of way that we're going to be doing it. There won't be a library, because me, I want to be very open and honest about it. There won't be a library, and there will be spaces where our history, our principles, our teachings will be highlighted and people can connect with it. And there will be spaces that will lend itself, what you didn't see, for example, is that in the office area, there's one giant room that sort of connects all the offices, and we're envisioning that to be almost like a lounge where people can come and spend time together, connect, read a book, read with each other, whatever that may be. So there is intentionality around those things that you mentioned. Yeah.
Hi. Okay, hi, I'm Tom. Just a couple questions about the construction. Sitting in here when we've had meditations, I've noticed noise penetration from other parts of the facility, the kids' room, things like that. So I'm sure you guys are paying attention to sound isolation. So that's just something to consider going forward, maybe especially in places like the sanctuary and the secondary sanctuary or chapel. So it's minimal expense to use insulation, sound insulation. So I'd suggest that. It used to be a GC long time ago. So, and I know there's a lot of sophistication going on with the people that are participating in it. But one of the things GCs love are changes. So you're already locked into the contract with a GC. How much is it going to be to change this? They're not bidding against anybody at that point, so you're sort of locked into the price that they give you. So some GCs say, well, I'm not going to make any money on the project, but I'll make it on the changes. So to the extent that it's possible to go through a project with minimal changes, it will save a lot of money going forward. So anyway, that's my addition.
That's a really good point about change orders. In my business, we consider change orders to be the curse of death. It's a very, very bad thing. And to the point of the gentleman, I'm sorry, I don't know. Tom. We are going through a lot of painstaking meetings in advance to make sure these schematic drawings, and William and his team is completely prepared to deliver drawings to the teams that we're going to be looking at for potential contractors. There's always going to be something, but it has been on the minds of all of us throughout these meetings that we want to make sure we get it right from the beginning. The fewer the change orders, the less the cost. Good point. Thank you.
Hi, Tom. I just also want to add something. We have a AV team, an AV company that we bought on board that we feel they are currently our AV providers that help me and Charles maintain the speakers and the systems. They specialize in spiritual homes. That's their thing. Most of their business is sound systems, AV, so we've had very deep conversations with them about the importance of the sound, the quality of the sound, of how things vibrate, or how things sound between rooms. And absolutely, noise absorption is something that we've had many conversations. William's been part of it. So that's something we've taken very into consideration. And it was one of the reasons we really thought the AV company that we chose was a good fit, because they understood our needs in that way, not just as AV, but also as people that understand churches and church needs. Yeah, the treatment of the walls, yes.
Acoustic tiling.
Installation
Yes,
and all of that. Yeah.
Installation, all of that. They've brought a lot of suggestions along, so they've been part of the team that meets with William. There's a team, it's every Monday. And there's also exactly. So there's sound and how it's being used, and it's of great importance to us. I have an online question from our beloved Mary McHenry. Hi, Mary.
Hey, Mary.
So Mary asked, will phase 1 and phase 2 use the same general contractor? That is the plan at this moment.
It is. It's to be
Micro-
determined, but
micro-
that is.
microphone?
Yes, our intention is to continue with the same contractor on the exterior that'll be doing the interiors for us. I don't want to promise that because a lot of things can change over a period of time, but that is the original intention.
Are there any other questions? I'll head over there.
While we go
Amy,
over
I'm going
there,
to-
I just, you know these things, right, Tom, because you've been a general contractor. Some people here have known it. I was floored when we were invited to a meeting of all the different people that had already been hired. There was like over 21 people on this amazing call, all bringing their gifts, their understanding, their skills to the intention of Unity on the Bay. It was a powerful, powerful experience to see all the minds and the hands that come together to create what we're creating.
Hi, good job, guys. This is like so exciting. The flex rooms that you showed, were there 4 separate ones, or was that just 4
2.
options? Okay.
Yeah, and there were 4 images, and we were just kind of showing how they can be connected or how they can be used independently.
Okay, cool. Is there a vision for music, space, choir? Is that going to be a flex room situation, or?
Yes, and
I know the girls are wondering. So.
yeah, there's a huge space behind the platform that'll be used for the music storage of all the equipment and things like that. All of the ramps have been accounted for to get you all up and onto the stage safely, securely, and a ton of lighting that'll be happening on our choir moving forward. So we'll actually get to see all of you as you're performing for us.
It'll be right next to my dressing room, right?
Exactly.
All right, I had to ask. I had to ask.
It's got a star on the door.
Bill, do not promise, because Faye
She'll want one.
will bring over about 40 dresses to me. So there won't be a Faye closet, and there won't be a room that is specifically a choir room, just to be very clear on that. And there will be space for different groups and individuals, including the music ministry, to use as needed.
Yeah, like one of the flex spaces.
The music ministry has shared their visions for a few years, so I just knew that was part of the question.
It's not a choir room. That's true. Yep.
Yeah.
Just to add to that about, like a choir room, that's a very, very traditional thing that has happened in churches for decades upon decades. But we're in a very different era, of course. I mean, we don't have stacks and files of music because everything's online. And so, it's just a different whole vibe. And pianos aren't like grand pianos. So just with that in mind, I just wanted to say that's one of the things to keep in mind as you're thinking about the flex space.
Thank you, Dale. Appreciate that.
And honestly, I don't think our choir will ever sound better than it's going to sound in this new place. With the technology that is going in, it's all state of the art. The lighting is incredible. The sound's going to be awesome. I'm really excited about that. Yes, ma'am.
Of course, I have more questions. It's been a long journey,
Yes.
So, okay, so I'm just curious, is the sanctuary going to be carpeted? Okay, that was an easy question. In terms of, since the chairs are movable, are they going to be stored where we don't have to view them when they're not in use?
Yes, and that's part of that space that goes behind the sanctuary, conveniently located, a nice storage room for these chairs.
Okay, and then, this is a little more controversial question. So there's been talk in the past about a cafe. I know we have a fellowship room with a kitchen. Is there going to be some element of that that is like a retail part, or is it being kept like it is now, where it's like gratis type of service of coffee and things like that?
It's going to be, for the beginning part, mostly aligned with what we have now, with its own space as part of that welcome area. We will continue to look at how we grow into the space also. But yeah, it'll be more like a coffee
Station, like a cart. We're going to roll out food and beverage to greet people during service and that sort of thing.
But we are expanding the retail from what we have, so there will be more space in that welcome area. Some of the furniture, for example, that's going to be included are benches and small tables, short top tables. Is that a thing? Regular size table, high tables, and also some high tops. So there will be the ability to meet in there and to talk and to congregate in there and have your coffee and peruse our books and gift store.
Just to add to that, Amy, so one of the conversations about a cafe per se is cafes like that need plumbing and grease traps and things that are not of priority right now as far as budget. It doesn't mean it's something we can't look at some point, but it would really complicate the construction and honestly raise the price quite a bit and have a lot more paperwork that goes involved to have everything that goes into having a functional like cafe. Like think of a Starbucks and everything that's happening back there. So right now it's just not something that is of immediate need or urgency.
So sometimes I ask questions not because I'm suggesting them, but more for like the clarity
Yeah.
aspect.
No,
But I do
appreciate-
have a special interest in theater. So I'm just wondering, you're saying about the sound system, I'm just wondering how big of a production can be put on that is rented for this space? Like, is it full enough to have like a theater like performance?
I think so.
Yeah.
Lovely,
Yes.
thank you. That's what I was, yeah. So that I am suggesting.
There was a question back here? Yes, another one?
Hit on it. The kitchen's still in play. I mean, it's not right now, I guess is what you're saying, but that kitchen spot's still going to stay and
Yeah,
eventually
the
get
kitchen's
worked
part of the
into?
fellowship hall, and that's being, for now, left as is.
Okay.
This was more particular in the retail space, if I'm not mistaken. We'd had always talked about it having like a cafe where like we can sell things after service. It was one of the visions, so that's why I was more specific speaking about a retail space that would be a cafe with everything that goes into it. But the kitchen is still the kitchen, yes.
Yeah, I mean, that's not now, but it's going to be, because I know that all the stuff's out of it, but it was there at one time, so, yeah. You said grease pits, so I was just,
Yeah, well,
Or
even
grease
something
trap.
as a cafe may need something like that because it needs water
Right,
and
right.
everything else.
all right, great, yeah, so the future is bright.
Yeah.
The future
Who
is
knows
super bright.
anything about grease traps? Like 3 people, right? If you want to learn about grease traps, talk to this guy. No, he doesn't want to talk to you about grease traps.
Eddie has a question for you folks.
Good afternoon. First, a comment. I want to do 2 shout outs. One to Will, who's an amazing architect. Thank you. We had a vision, and you and team have just really blown it out of the water. So I want to say thank you to you. And to you, Bill, you are an angel sent from heaven, as far as I'm concerned. You've been here all along. But you've stepped up at a perfect time, and I will tell you, I've been part of this journey from the very beginning, like everyone knows, and having you here gives me a sense of happiness and to some degree relief as well, because I know we're in great hands. So thank you. So they will tell you that I have been very annoying as Mr. Flexibility throughout this entire program. And I think one important point to your question is that we're going to have step spaces. So the space for the what's the prayer room?
Chapel.
The chapel is smaller, but then you have the flex space. Then you have the reception area. Then you have the fellowship area. So we will have different size spaces that can be combined, cut off, etc., to do different things, including plenty of room for the choir to practice, so you don't have to worry about that. So done with the statements. I have a question. How much money are we spending?
It's almost like you know the answer and you just want us to mention it. Do either of you? So here's where we're at, right? Like, so as we all know, the journey has been a long one, and there have been a lot of shifts and a lot of changes. One of the reasons why we also decided to separate out into phases is so that we have a better understanding of all of the costs for the interior, to know how much we're able to then spend on the exterior, or what are the steps that we need to take in order to have the exterior that we've envisioned in having. That said, the interior is running about $5 million right now. I want you all to know that for those of you who have been on this journey, with us, when we started this journey, that's how much we thought we would spend on the property, right? And then be able to build and renovate it. And because of where Miami is or South Florida is, it actually switched completely around. And so we spent used $9.2 million to buy the property, and now we're going to be using about $5 million. Just under $5 million to support it. When we talk about AV, for example, like, I don't know how much we are all aware, but that AV is a couple of $100,000, just the AV alone, right? And so those are a lot of the different components that went into it. Even with those $5 million, you will see from the drawings, William, Dynamica, and their Building Our Future team has been so great at making sure that we're working within the current cement walls so that the cost of it doesn't grow exponentially, right? And so we're being very good stewards in this process, and that's how much. Is there anything else that should be added?
What was the original bid?
The original bid of?
For the interiors, because we've really taken that down quite a bit.
Together. But together, when we first looked at, what we envisioned, right? And we got the first numbers, which again, still needed to go through a couple of steps, but it was about $12 million. There wasn't a gasp, as I thought that there would be. Did you hear that? It was about $12 million. Thank you. And we realized that meant we needed to look at being good stewards of that which you as a spiritual community are supporting us with. We needed to look at what was included in that. We needed to look at creating phases for ourselves so that then now we know once the GCs get in there and all of that, like what else is needed and how are we going to provide. I will also share that especially with the exterior is where we're going to also be looking at additional funds and continue to support Unity on the Bay, because what we're talking about is using the line of credit to pay for the building, the property, and the renovations and the construction, as well as paying the interest of that line of credit, right, with our investments. And so everything that you as a spiritual community financially support us with goes to the other pieces that make our community what it is. And many of you are aware of it, and it needs to continue to be said through the wisdom of our Board of Trustees. We currently have from our interest of our investments about $67,000 that moves from the interest, so not from the capital, but from the interest that goes to offset the cost of the operations of Unity on the Bay. So as a
And may I add, that's pre-construction. That is the money we use to operate Unity as it functions today.
So really invite you to look at financially supporting Unity on the Bay, supporting the growth, as you've heard me say, like we are in a moment of replanting. And when we replant, that's especially when you need to nourish the soil, tend to the plant, tend to the soil, so that it can move in a healthy way into its new pot. That's what we ask that all of us do. How can we continue to support Unity in the Bay? And actually, even more than that, how can we grow the support that we give to Unity on the Bay?
Awesome. Do we have time for a couple more questions?
I have
How are we
one
doing
more.
on time?
I have one online question I want to address Mary again. Hi, Mary. Will there be shower facilities or lock-in for retreats? That's not in the plan at this moment.
There will be a bathroom
Yes, it
that
will.
will be that will have some of those amenities.
Yes, but it won't be like a whole locker room facility, but there will be some accommodations when
Okay.
needed for retreats.
Awesome. You know, it's no secret that
No
BIPOC...
pickleball court, Mary, I'm sorry. Not at the moment.
So it's no secret that that BIPOC history is being eliminated, that Latino history is being eliminated. A lot has changed in 100 years, right? And here we are, almost 100 years later. You were our first associate minister that became head minister, Latino, LGBTQ+. The BIPOC community, the Haitian community, is part of our evolution over these 100 years. I want to see black and brown representation, and I want to see it somewhere. Right? Are we going to get that?
I think yes, and more
In
of
our,
it.
in our history, I mean, like,
Well, I just wanted to thank you for that question, and I actually want to use it to say that we are continuing to be more and more intentional about that representation. Our Building Our Future committee, I think, showcases some of that representation, and we will continue to look at how our property and the process for the property continues to have that. We have an outreach committee there are committees that we are going to be forming along the way. The first one really that has come out of our community is our outreach committee, and that is a very representative committee that is doing the work of reaching out to Miami Gardens, reaching out to the city council, and really already creating the spaces for Unity on the Bay to partner with those that are already in Miami Gardens. And we continue to look at how we as a spiritual community can represent and honor the diversity that has made us as unique of a spiritual community as we are, not only in South Florida, but throughout the Unity movement. So yes.
Just to piggyback on that a little bit, our backpack distribution event that we had in August was primarily for the Miami Gardens community. The backpacks we put aside to give in person, and it was our first in-person distribution, was aimed at the schools, the community centers, the libraries, and all the organizations within Miami Gardens. So we're allowing ourselves to be felt and be seen and understand that we're going there to be good partners. So I just wanted to also emphasize that because we're already in there.
Yeah.
Thank you, kids. Thank you, thank you. Was there another question around here? I'm so sorry. Oh.
First of all, thank you to all the board for the amazing job. It looks so tasteful and welcoming, and it's looking better every time. I'm sure it's gonna look even better in real person. As I started coming to Unity when I didn't speak English almost at all, I want to know if there is any plan now that we're gonna be in a community, in a place in Miami that is mostly Latin and Hispanic speakers around. I want to know if there is any chance that we can have even a bilingual service or a Spanish service or something like that. Because I've been many times in the position that I could invite people to Unity, but since they not speak English, and we know in Miami there's a lot of people that don't speak English almost at all. I want to know what's the plan, or if we have a plan about that situation.
Excellent question.
So I'll share that I hold that vision. We hold that vision for being a resource for non-English speakers. And I believe that our new facility will provide the space to be able to do so. You know, that for me, for example, is one of the beauties of having that chapel, right? Like you can have a smaller service, even while other things are happening in the rest of the building, and it doesn't feel like you are just put in a side room. It feels like it's a place that you are being welcomed in whatever language that is native to you to have a sacred experience. So yeah, that is part of the vision.
For the sake of time, just asking how much time we have left?
Yeah, I think for now, we're going to wrap it up.
Okay.
We'll be around if anybody has any further questions afterwards. All right, really quickly. Yes.
The comments, the non-question was we just have a lot of space in the parking area to also have festivals and other activities. And yes, that was part of the intention with the backpack drive, for example, and having people come to us. And that will be built upon. And that is a model of the many different things that we can do in the 4.2 acres that we have. This is double the size of any property Unity on the Bay has ever owned or had.
All right.
All right.
Unity
Okay,
Gardens.
thank you.
All right. Well, with that, how many of you see the vision? How many of you trust the vision? How many of you feel that you are a part of the vision? Because it is true. Thank you so much for being a part of it. Thank you for holding it in prayer. Thank you for supporting Unity on the Bay. By the way, Jason did a phenomenal job. Give Miami Day website is already on the unityonthebay.org website, so you can already go for Give Miami Day. Thank you all for being here. Know that you are an answered prayer. Namaste.
Thank you, everyone.
Yay.
Good show.